G'day everybody. I should be doing chores, but I've just been out here taking a look at the grass. It's coming up. It's at a ready to harvest state now, but I think I'd like to leave it for one more month just to make sure we get up to the right maturity state for this grass here. Last month was a pretty big month. We achieved a lot, getting our field over there with the sorghum planted. We'll go and take a look at that in a minute. But first, some good news. We have had 5 new babies born down here at the chicken pen. Let's take a look. Now, information. Okay, so overnight we had born 1 pullet, and she is of very good overall condition. The metabolism and health and quality are good, high fertility and high egg production, so a pretty good bird overall. And we also had 4 cockerels born. So the first one here is a very good looking bird, very high pretty much across the board, with the exception of egg production. Next one, also looking pretty good. Pretty good overall. Last month we did also have 3 cockerels born, I believe. All looking pretty good. This one here I think will be a keeper with some very high and extremely high genetic qualities overall. So we should give this one a name. If you can think of a name, let me know. But I did also find a little bit of a problem. Now, if I look at our best rooster here, his name is Blazin Chicken. He's an overall very good quality with a very high metabolism and health and extremely high fertility, quality, and egg production. The problem is he has no children. Palmy has been ruling the roost, if you would, and he has been impregnating all of the hens to date. So if we look at his children, he is the father of 15 cockerels and pullets. So I think that what I might like to do in the near term, not an immediate goal, is create a couple of separate pens. One for some of these hens to grow up and start laying eggs, particularly the ones that are, in the very high categories. They're really good birds and they're going to do very well in our pens. But we're really looking for somebody like Spotty Henriette here to breed for us a lot more of these higher quality birds. And we've got Scary Miracle and Peri Peri here are also good quality birds to be breeding from. So we're going to keep our breeding stock in a separate area, and we'll try and cycle through Blazin and Palmy to start with to get ourselves a little bit of genetic diversity. And eventually we'll be on the hunt for some good quality roosters to come in as well, and maybe even to look at splitting off our flock. Now, with that in mind, chickens, there are a number of chickens available to us at the moment, and I was looking at this one right here. This one is an absolute keeper of a bird, very high and extremely high across the board. So she is absolutely coming home with us today, and she is going to go into our breeding stock. And just having a quick look at the roosters here, I also saw this one here, again with no name, very good quality bird across the board, so we will grab him. And the rest were a bit low, to be honest. So we're going to jump in and grab those 2 birds, and we will buy selected, 64 euros. They're coming with us. Now, let's go and have a look at that sorghum field. Okay, here we are coming up on the sorghum field now. Now, we did have the rental of this weeder overnight. I'm quite confident there will be some weeds in this field today. But the crop has germinated and it is looking very good indeed. Now the nitrogen is bad. We left it overnight, but I'm going to come through here today and do some fertilizing. And just as we walk through, yeah, we can see some large weeds coming up. What's herbicide for that? That might be off on the field boundary. Yes, I think it is. Let's have a little walk around the field and check overall. So if we're looking for weeds, we're actually clean and clear. No weeds today. So that's actually really good to know. What we will do then is we'll take our weeder and return it back over to the shop. We might not return it yet because there might be a contract or two to do today. But what we will do as one of our first jobs before we get going is we'll spread some fertilizer, some solid fertilizer across this sorghum. It's a cool looking plant, sorghum. Currently there's tons of it growing on the side of the highway on my way to my day job every day. Alrighty, with that in mind, let's get going. Just jump out for a second and take a look. What do we got going on? Oh, perfect. Perfect pH. Perfect nitrogen. So we're expecting a smashing good crop. 17.3 tonnes per hectare. That's pretty good. Now down this end of the field should be pretty good. We've got loam, I think, down this end. Ah, no, sandy loam. That's right. So this is the worst end of the field. Still expecting 13.8 tonnes. Perfect nitrogen and perfect pH. Love it. All right. So that's the first job out of the way for the day. And this field is pretty much ready now to just let sit until it's ready to harvest, which is going to be in a few months. I think it's let's check the calendar. So sorghum is going to be ready harvest, yeah, in August or September. So not too far away at all. Well, that's awesome. In between now and then, we are going to have our grass field over there to cut, which is good. It gives us something to get a crop off of and make some hay to sell to the animal dealer. I could keep some for us, but at this point I'm not quite ready for bringing any livestock into this little plot that we have here. So I think really we should just focus on our next target, sell the hay that we make off of there to the animal dealer, and focus on buying ourselves a harvester, the one that we saw in the sale last month, which is, yeah, this guy right here. So at 37% off, that's a pretty good deal. I did buy the header for it already, and this one was also in the sale, but it's a 4.2 meter header, which is, I think, the same size as what I bought. Nothing new in here of note. Now, the other thing is I had a comment from a fellow YouTube content creator by the name of ModRacer73. And shout out to ModRacer73. If you haven't checked out his channel, go and do so. I'd recommend it. He's got some content on there for Farming Simulator 25 and other things. And yeah, so far I'm really enjoying the way that it's presented. So thank you very much for your comments, mate. But he did suggest that starting out in the early game, something like a silage bunker could be a way to go. But I don't want to do silage in this game. I'm just trying not to do it as a silage sales. But what I do think is that he's pinged an idea for me about using a forage wagon to go and collect all of the hay or grass or straw and things like that, and not getting straw from this sorghum. So I've gone and added a mod here, which is Extended Straw Crops by Joss, and it is available on the mod hub. And what that mod will do is it will enable us to get straw from corn, sorghum, canola, soybeans, and sunflowers, I think. So all the things that we would usually have a byproduct coming off those fields, we can get that straw and we can bale it up. Now that's going to be a little bit useful for me because I can use that as an additional product to sell off of this field. And yeah, it's a thank you very much there to ModRacer73 for, I suppose, giving me the inspiration there. Now, I suppose we should get started with some contract work and try and go about earning that harvester. So, we've got a fertilizing contract and here some harvesting contracts. Both of these are for spinach. We don't have the equipment for spinach right now, and we're saving up for our harvester. So what we might do is we'll send a worker off to go and do this fertilizing contract. But before I do that, we've been using this bread owl spreader, and what I think I might do is I did actually add another mod for a smaller, older style spreader. This is a bit modern, so let's go and swap this out. Again, in this start from zero sort of gameplay, I've been trying to keep it not old iron exactly, but using equipment of an appropriate size and scale. And even this tractor is struggling with this spreader, but it's pretty much one of the smaller ones that we can get that wouldn't cause this tractor to be completely off balance, but that does enable us to do a reasonable amount of contract work. So I'm just going to dump out the fertilizer there, and we'll take this and detach it. And after a long time, we are going to return the bread owl spreader. Into the menus we go. Okay, so we're just going to go down into vehicles, and here we can see the bread owl spreader, and we've used it for 5.2 working hours. That's pretty good. We've got our money's worth out of it for sure. So let's return that thing now. All right, it served us really, really well. And we're going to jump into the shop, and here under fertilizer spreaders, Yeah, the RCW5. So this mod here does both fertilizer and lime. It has a smaller capacity at 5,000 litres, but it does still have a decent spread of 18 metres. Now what we have been using here does 24 metres for lime and 30 metres for fertilizer. So it is a little bit less, but you know, it's an appropriate size for the tractors that we're running. The other options would have been something like this Axis or this Amazon. They're great, but they're a little bit heavy when you're sitting them on the back of the smaller size tractors. And we did try these mods here. Unfortunately, they struggle to load. You can't load them using the cell stations, the lime stations, and they don't pick up off the ground. So I was having some challenges with loading that equipment previously. So I'm going to stick with this one today. And we don't... we do have the money to buy it, but I really don't want to buy it just now, since we're targeting the harvester. How much is it to lease? 382. I mean, I really can't go wrong with that. Again, the rules of this series, I am allowed to lease equipment, and I am allowed to do contracts with leased equipment. I'm just not allowed to borrow the equipment in the contracts. So I can do this, and it'll actually cost me less than the other one was costing. Okay, so let's buy some fertilizer, get that on board. We've only got about 300 litres remaining over here, I think. 447. Now that might be enough to get that first job done. And I want to test if the John Deere can do this as well. I know it really was not capable of pulling the Bredel spreader, but if that could do spreading with this smaller spreader, then that would make me a very happy man indeed. Oof. I go dizzy doing circles. I do love the turning circle in this thing. Now, I did hang on to the weeder overnight, just in case we had the opportunity to use it on our field. As it turned out, there was no requirement to do so. We can return it today, but I'll just keep it in the back pocket for now, until we know for certain that we won't be doing any weeding contracts today. Okay, let's get that hooked up to our new spreader here. Load up the fertilizer and set the worker off to do that contract. You know what? I can't chance it. I am going to buy one of these bags of fertilizer. We sussed out the prices. It looks pretty good to me, on par with buying the 1,000 litre pallets. So we'll just add an extra 500 litres in the top here. That'll save me mucking around. In you go. Ripper. Okay, let's set that worker off. And we'll accept that contract. create a job for this fella here. To go and fertilize field number 20. Start. Tally-ho. Alright, now for us. Contracts. Now the reason why I wanted to check if the John Deere would do that is because for us, we've got a wood transport contract here to pick up and a deadwood contract. And I got something special in mind for this today as well. And again, it was a comment by our friend ModRacer73, which spawned another thought in my brain. Very dangerous indeed. I'm going to go and do this deadwood contract, but I'm not going to be getting a chipper. I'll show you what I'm going to do with those in a minute. Alright. So here we are at the sawmill. And I'm going to come on over here. And I'm going to ask these guys to do a deal for me where they can turn this dead wood, the bits that are useful from it, into some actual product for me. They've got the specialty tools and equipment. They've got all the special, pressure treating lumber systems here. Now it's a bit early in the farm's inception for me here to be looking at building a sawmill, but I can certainly bring these guys the raw material and pay them to turn it into a useful product for me. So I'm going to lease this sawmill for 821 euros. Now right here you can see there is nothing currently in the incoming materials and nothing in the outgoing materials. All of these are set on storing. None of them are activated, so I would need to activate them yet. But first I need to go and get some wood in as the incoming material. And that's what we got all this dead wood for. So we're going to drive across here with the engine going, of course. Okay, and at this point here, we're going to unstrap the trailer and we'll put it into the mill. Now there's 6,321 litres in there right now, but I've still got the remainder of the trees that I've already cut down from the dead wood and a couple more left over to go and cut down. So I'm going to crack on doing that now, and the sawmill here is going to chip away for us. What do we want out of this right now? Let's focus on wood beams to start with. I think, yeah, let's start on wood beams. Activate. So it's going to consume 416 wood to produce 183 beams and 150 wood chips. So these will be a couple of byproducts that I get here will be wood chips, but out of this I'm going to get some good wood beams that I can take and use further down the line. And I'm going to start stockpiling these for a little bit of a purpose later on. So for right now, that is activated. I'm not going to activate planks or planks long yet. I want to focus on wood beams. They're my first target. Okie dokie. Now also in the menus while we're there, we did have our worker complete the fertilizing contract on field number 20. They charged us 330, I think, euros in labor. So we keep about a third of that. I'm not sure how much fertilizer they did end up consuming though. So let's collect that contract, 1,212. And we'll set a job for that worker as well to return the equipment back. Before we do though, are there any yes, there is another fertilizing contract over at field 86. So let's just call over and see how they're doing for fertilizer. Ooh, only 144 litres on board. Alright, so we will set them a job to return back to the shop, and we'll help them to fill up over there at the shop, and then we'll get another worker to go over and fertilize field 86. I think we've got a little system going here now. Now let's get all that set up, get them underway, and then I'll continue the deadwood contract to come and fill up the mill. Right guys, here we are pulling in now. We have completed the deadwood contract and collected all of the logs that we could gather. Now we're going to pull up and unload them here into the sawmill. Boom. Alright, so already there is 11,880 odd litres of wood, and we've produced 357 litres of beams and 293 litres of wood chips. So we're going to let that one continue running throughout the day, and we'll come back and collect our wood at a later time. Our worker has also finished their contract fertilizing. I only gave them 500 litres. It looked like a fairly small job, so I sent them off with that on board, and it looks like that was sufficient to complete. We did pay some wages for them as well, and I assume when we tick over to the next hour, we'll have some more to pay for them as well. Now, I'm just heading back to the farm shop, although I suppose I should really pull over up here and just quickly check the job board. Let's see what there is for us to tackle right now. And while we're at it, we can also go ahead and collect our contracts. So the fertilizing contract was worth 1,238 euros. We'll collect on that one right now. And our deadwood contract, we got paid 1,050 to take those dead trees and put them into the sawmill. That's going to create another product for us. I'm not going to be selling that product right now, so, well, at least that's not my plan. But if I do need the cash, I may. But I've got another idea in mind for those products. So let's collect this 1,050 for cutting down those deadwood trees. These are jobs maintaining the forest so that they grow good quality timbers. Now, there's a few harvesting contracts coming up, but they're all for spinach, and we are definitely not doing those. We also noted that our Fiat Universal 650 is not strong enough to do hoeing contracts with the only hoe that's in the base game here. There is another fertilizing contract, and for us to do, there is a wood transport contract, and that actually is right up here near where we're at. So I might accept that contract and do this work, and we'll get a worker back to the farm shop and get them working on another fertilizing contract. So let's take that one, and we'll take this one. I'll have that worker head back to the shop now. I'll collect these logs and then actually swing by the shop and then go back through so that I can help the worker fill up. Alright, let's get that underway now. Okay guys, here we are. I'm going to pull in now to the carpentry. And we're going to complete our wood transport contract. Alrighty. There we go. Now that's that job done. I'll quickly check the menus. Our worker is over here fertilizing field 43. They had a little bit of trouble getting started over there. So I reset that worker and off they went. Let's just have a little look at the contract board. Okay, there's another deadwood contract. I think we've got enough in the mill right now. We'll check on that a little bit later today. So there's not much more to do just yet. I'm hoping that in about 20 minutes game time, we get a few more contracts turn up for us. Or else we might have to turn our attention to cutting the grass and making some hay. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful June day. I didn't plan on doing more than one deadwood contract just now, but that is the other alternative, is to pick that new contract up and give that a try. Just keep pumping the sawmill full of wood and keep it operating for a bit. It's not something that we're going to do forever. I just have an end purpose in mind. He overtook me over double white lines. I tell you, the drivers in this game are just shocking. Alright guys, here we are back now at the shop. Just pulling back in with the John Deere after our worker had completed the fertilizing contract. Now, let's stop up here for a moment. It is midday, so it must be about time for a lunch break, and I heard that there is a great demand over at the animal dealer, so Katie must be putting out the help needed sign. We'll find out what she's after as well, but first, let's collect those contracts for wood transport and fertilizing, and then we might check our finances and see how we're tracking for the day. So, we will collect 2003 for fertilizing field 43, and we will collect 2295 for a wood transport contract. Just looking back at the job board as well, it looks like there are now 2 really good quality fertilizing contracts there, and some spraying contracts, and a deadwood. So, depending on how things play out, we might look at those shortly. Let's just put the time down to ×1, and we're also going to check the great demand. What is Katie looking for? Aha, straw. Katie has a great demand for straw. She's paying 50 euros and the current price is 37, but unfortunately I don't have any straw right now, and won't do until after we harvest the sorghum. Normally you don't get straw off of sorghum, but I did get the extended straw crops mod by Joss, downloaded from the mod hub, which will enable you to get straw from sorghum, soybeans, corn, and canola as well. So that's good. Unfortunately though, I don't think today we'll be able to help Katie. I'll check if she also has a great demand on for hay. If she does, it might be worth our while tackling the grass field. So we'll just have a little look in the menu here. Where are we? Hay. No. So still just paying 51 at the moment for hay. So we might hold off until next month to do our cut, unless we find no other good work to do on our path to buying the harvester today. All right. So let's have a think. Job board. Oh, finances. Right now, we're up 2,596 for the day. Now, that is a result of spending a fair bit on fertilizer and on wage payments as well. But we have made a decent amount from contract income, which is where that's coming in. Now, what we might do, I think we might take those two larger fertilizing contracts, but we might just do those ourselves so that we're not paying the labor charges. They are right close to where we are. There's nothing else more enticing for me here. We've already done a wood transport contract today, and that is 19 trees. It's not very far to go, though. We've done a lot of that today. I don't want to spam it all episode. So we might do our own little fertilizing contracts now. We'll take both field 8 and field 49. Oops. Accept contract. Now we'll load up with plenty of fertilizer and we'll head off and do those ourselves. First, we'll have to disconnect the John Deere. And I'm going to take the Fiat to do it this time. I might live to regret this decision later. We'll find out. I also haven't got any weeding contracts turn up today, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. I would have liked to have had another contract to set a worker on to use that hired equipment. But we'll hang on to it until the end of the day. Actually, let's drop that off. I'm just preempting that we'll use it next episode. Alright, here we go. Now, I also haven't seen any liming contracts come up today, so I might end up putting all the lime that I dropped out of the spreader. Might end up putting that up at the side wall there of the shop, just so it's neat and tidy. Alright, let's buy a bit of fertilizer. Gonna need a bit. Let's start with 2,000 litres and see where that lands us. When these contracts are done. Finished up that last fertilizing contract. I'm going to head on back to the shop now. Figured out why we were using so much fertilizer. We had automatic application rate selected, which I think was running at 127 kilograms per hectare, which is what was used on my sorghum fields, but we don't need that on contract jobs where there's already been a fertilization state applied. So I turned that setting off, and that took us down to 18 kilograms of fertilizer per hectare, which is still an awful lot of fertilizer. So we are going to head on back to the shop now. After completing those 2 quick jobs, and we'll see what our finances are looking like. Alright, just pulling back into the shop now. We've still got just over 1,100, just under 1,200 litres of solid fertilizer still on board. So that automatic application rate being selected made a big difference when the workers were doing their job. So let's jump in now and collect those 2 contracts. So we've got 5,392 for field 49 and 1,229 for field number 8. Let's see. How much have we got? 16,776. Is that enough? It's pretty close, but is that enough to buy our target harvester? Oh, 16,768. So we can buy it today. No customizations required, thank you very kindly. Here we are. A brand new combine harvester for us. And €8 left in the bank to spare. Well guys, I think that right there is a nice little victory lap right at the end of this episode. And I'm pretty excited to see what we can churn out in the next episodes with this new piece of kit. So I'm going to leave it here today. And, man, yes, this is so cool. Let's fire it up and we'll get it hooked up to the header. So we can just park it up out of the way a little bit. Oh, I'm so excited. This has been an absolute milestone. Having our own harvester, I didn't expect to have it in the first year of gameplay. We did start in August of last year, so we've actually made it just a couple of months ahead of schedule. And there it is. Wow. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it here for today. As always, I should be doing chores, but here I am playing video games and sharing it with people on the internet. If you've enjoyed this episode, and I know I did, then please drop me a like down below and leave me a comment. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me what you didn't like about it. And until the next one, guys, I hope you have a good one.